Stock City Trail, one time. On my way downtown for the girl who got the guarantee. Man, I killed the town. 7-seater in the Cherokee. White on white ghost. That's my little Amber Rose. Let the top peel back. Let Saga see the Mac. Little short in front away.
Oh my God, it's a mess in here. Okay. This thing. Parts are ordered. They're going to take 3 weeks to get here. Welcome to Vintage Bikes, guys. This is what happens. The parts take forever to come in. These things sit for a long time. It's why nobody wants to work on them, you know? But you're lucky. I do, and I do it for you guys. We got this thing back. The Rattle. The Rattle. What's going on with the Rattle? Okay, so I'm pretty sure I figured out what was going on. The primary chain was super loose, and that just kind of goes hand in hand with what we found here, with the clutch being improperly adjusted, the pressure plate being improperly adjusted, and the clutch itself being improperly adjusted. So the thing is, there's this inspection window here, and you can adjust the primary chain to the proper tension. The problem is, this is the difference between when you come to me or you go to, you know, whoever, just a random, right? Yes, if you adjust the primary chain tension back into spec, it will stop rattling and it'll be perfect, and you can ride this bike. And you don't have to do anything else other than just adjust the chain tension through that little service window and you'll be done. The problem is, why is the chain so loose? This bike only has 17,000 miles. That's insane for the primary chain to be that loose. It's a real big concern. And with a lot of the shoddy work on a bike, when I go into a project like this, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not afraid to take on other people's lost causes where every other shop turns it down and they don't want to touch it. I'm not scared of that. But there is a certain way that you have to approach those types of jobs. And the way that you approach it is assume an illiterate troglodyte put the whole thing together and they did it with their eyes closed. So you have to check everything. I want to take this primary chain case cover off and I want to see what it looks like in there. But when I do that, all of the oil is going to come out, which means you have to replace the oil. Furthermore, the gasket, maybe you could reuse it if it was a 5,000 mile bike, or really if it was your own bike. But you guys know how I feel about gaskets around here. You have to replace the gasket. The gasket's $42. The oil is $12 or $15. And then you might as well do an engine oil change. And then, you know, you need a filter. And before you know it, it's $150 in parts. So it adds up really quick, but it needs the maintenance. And if I don't go in there and check what's causing, what if the tensioner is completely worn down? What if the tensioner, it looks like this. This is what inside of there that tensions the actual chain, okay? See that plastic shoe? This could have worn completely down. I don't know why the chain is that loose. That is very, very weird for it to be that out of spec. So when I'm approaching bikes like this, I know that the owners hate, you know, they don't want to hear like, oh, you know, you got to put these OEM parts on and do the maintenance and whatever. And I could just tighten it up, okay? I could tighten it up and I could send him on his way. But if I do that, and this chain breaks, and it rips through the case of his engine, or worse, something happens on the road, he goes down, I don't want to be responsible for that. I would rather not fix it at all. He could just take it somewhere to get fixed. Or if I'm fixing it, I want to go in there and I want to figure out, why did that go wrong? Because that is not normal. You got to understand. There's certain things. Spark plugs wear out normally, okay? Gaskets wear out normally. There's things that wear out normally. It's not weird. It's not suspicious. You could just replace those parts. You don't really have to check much more. You want to go through the bike, of course, but when a primary chain is that loose, it doesn't really make any logical sense. That doesn't seem normal on this kind of mileage. So I really have to go in for my own sanity, for liability reasons, go in and do that, change all the fluids. You know, it is what it is. And these, you know, I know my customers, look, they hem and haw. They get upset. It's all, the parts are expensive. All this stuff's expensive. But I don't charge for parts. I do not mark up the parts, okay? And I charge less than what the dealership charges for labor. And I do a really thorough job because your safety is my priority. I want you to be able to ride your bikes for extended periods of time with no problems. I want you to enjoy it as much as I do. But I know that the most fun you have riding a motorcycle is riding one that's not broken. Okay, and there's certain things that I just know are patchwork repairs. And you know what? A patchwork repair is fine if you're the one fixing it and you know what you're getting yourself into. But when you're paying me money, if your patchwork repair doesn't work out, well, guess who you're going to be mad at? You're going to be mad at me, and you're going to think it's my fault. And, honestly, I really think it is my fault for not recommending that you do all this. So that is why we went back and forth on this. We finally came to terms. We agreed. I'm taking a big loss on this job, but I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. You have to do this. I think it would make a great video. I couldn't just leave you guys hanging. I wanted to fix that horrible noise on this thing. So we're going to get into this primary chain case cover today. I got to move all my stuff. I got $1,000 worth of parts coming for this Ducati. I cannot wait to put those on. I just got the timing, the degree wheel for setting the timing and everything. We're going to be going into the valves, and I just can't wait to ride this thing. I still haven't even ridden it. It just looks incredible, but that's going to be later. And then we got that Ducati. I don't know what he's going to want to do with that. That one's leaking oil. It's leaking oil out of the crush washer. It's there's a bunch of RTV under there, so again, it's another oil change, factory Ducati parts, very expensive. Some people just don't want to do it, so I don't know. It'll be up to him, whatever he wants to decide. But today, we're going to get this thing running properly. We're going to get into that primary chain case, and we are going to investigate and make sure that this thing is safe to ride. And we're going to do a full fluid flush on it, refresh the gaskets, get it going, get it absolutely perfect, because it pisses me off when bikes leave here not in perfect condition. That is the one thing. I just don't let them go. I'll eat the cost. I don't even care. It's my reputation on the line. All right, I've been yapping for another 30 minutes, as per usual. So let me get some of this stuff organized. It's such a mess in here. And get going on this thing, guys. And you know what? I just want to thank everyone for watching and thank everyone for supporting me and what I'm doing. It's there's not a lot of people doing what I'm doing out here, especially not for a lot of these bikes. Certainly not these, definitely there's no independent Ducati guys. All the independent Ducati guys just work on their own Ducatis. They don't even do it for other people because it's such a nightmare. So, having this as a resource to the community, me offering these services, I want to continue to do it. You guys watching this, the customers, that's what makes this all possible. I thank all you guys, and yeah, let's get into it. It's a gorgeous day outside. God, I wish I could be riding right now, but honestly, you guys want to know a secret? I enjoy fixing these bikes and working on them more than I enjoy riding them sometimes. I really do. All right, let's get into it.
No auto. Dirk and Metro, nigga. Smirking Metro, nigga. The voice in Metro, nigga. All them killers felt when I talk. Ain't no disrespect in my block. I had Twitter fingers with the ops. Why they post my DM on the blog? I done fell out twice with my dog.
Look at how much metal shavings. I mean, I'm sorry. This is clutch material. But look at how much is on here. This stuff hasn't been changed ever. Ever. This stuff is nasty.
Try to fix it twice too long. Chris Vex stuffed in the Glock. You can feel the threats when I talk. Told my bitch bros over hoes. Then a nigga told what he saw. Pull off on promoters on raw. I can leave my pole in the car. Seen a nigga run on his feet. Surprised that he made it that far. Sorry about what happened to the kid. I just pulled a 4 on my pop. See how she act with her rolls. From the back I stand on my toes. I done shared dimes with the bros. IG bitches ironing my clothes. I done seen hoopers drink lean. I done served a line to a pro. I can get you slammed on the phone. That'll get you time on the phone. How you niggas crying on live? Dead sneak, this my guy. He say they not shoot. Keep your strap when you in the trenches, you don't know who you gon' lose. Hear the shit you tellin' bitches, I'm like, who you gon' shoot? Gave him a pipe and gave him a contact.
Holy shit, guys. I haven't touched anything. You saw me just take that off, right? Literally just took that thing off. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? This is the nut that holds your primary gear on. That's insane. That was just hanging out over there. This is exactly why you don't just adjust some shit. This is exactly why I do shit the way I do. You know what? I'm still cheaper than the dealership, but like I'm not that cheap because this is how you have to do it. I just can't avoid doing things this way. You have to check this shit. Why was it so loose? Holy guys. Holy that's insane. This whole thing would have come off. Insane. Insane. All right, so there's some consequences now to this. When this nut fell off of here, okay, I'm convinced that, I mean, I don't know if this just worked its way loose or if the last guy that worked on it didn't tighten it properly. I have no idea how this happened. But if you could see this, see that play? Let me see if I can zoom in from here. That is from the nut coming off. So now this needs to be replaced. This tensioner, see this ridge here? There's another one that goes right here. But it's ground its whole way off. It has ground this whole thing like a cheese grater, and this whole thing is just sliced down on an angle. Luckily, we do have an extra one of these, because this thing is cooked. But this is going to be the problem. This primary gear and that bearing situation back there, I got to do a little bit of research on how this is on the smaller V-twins, because with the big twins, they're a little different. They got a compensator and everything like that. These don't have that. Maybe it's just a simple bearing. I don't know. I got to look at the parts diagram. But this is what happens. This is, you know, this is why you don't just want to, because we could have just tightened this up. We didn't have to take any of this off, and we could have just tightened this up. And that nut would have still been over there. This whole thing would have flown off. This would have spaghettied. This would have wrapped itself around and caught itself up and bunched itself up in the primary, locked up his rear tire. Could have died. You could have died. I mean, this is like, I have no sympathy or respect for when people do repairs like this, assuming that this was from a repair. I guess I don't know if that nut worked its way loose normally. But, I mean, this is people's lives on the line. So, just really grateful that I was able to catch this, because I mean, I can't even begin to think about what could have happened.
Gave him a car and told him, who you gon' shoot? Gave him a car, gave him a pipe, I told him, who you gon' shoot? Gave him a car, gave him a pipe, I told him, who you gon' shoot? Gave him a car, gave him a pipe, I told him, who you gon' shoot?
All right, now that all the primary gears are off, I just wanted to take a look, examine this a little bit closer. This is why we buy gaskets, folks. So this gasket, you can see it's dented here, and you see these wear marks here? Those wear marks are from where this nut was bouncing around in there, where it sat right there. See that? That's the damage from this nut. This is why it's sometimes not always a simple repair, you know? So, everything else looks pretty good. This primary fluid is just like super dirty. I mean, really dirty. So, thank God we're changing all this. The tensioner, as I mentioned, is completely shot. We're going to put the other one on. We might replace this primary gear. I don't know. It seems pretty good. I'm just going to test out the other one because the customer does have a parts bike. So the other one seems a lot more rusty and in worse condition, but just in case, I'm going to check to see if it's got any less play. You know, these keyways look really good. So I don't think it caused much damage, but I'll decide from there, you know. Alright, so this is how much play is on the old one. This is why there's more damage that can just happen than just what you can see that's visible. Obviously we have, you know, the damage here inside the primary cover, but that's mostly cosmetic, and then the gasket, we had to get a new gasket anyway. But this is the real issue. So it jiggles on there. Okay, now I'm going to swap out the other one off of a different bike, used one, but the one that hasn't been damaged, and I'll show you that one. All right, I know it's a little rusty, but we're going to clean it up. But check out the lateral this way and like this way play of this one. It's almost, that's it. Can't even, it's hard to see on camera, but it's shifting just, I mean, it's so much better. Obviously the keyways could maybe not be perfect on the crankshaft, but this one has like at least 10% more play than this one. It's very significant. I mean, you could tell. So I'm going to throw this one in the blaster, beat all this off, get it all cleaned up, look at real shiny, put it back on. And I got to order a special tool to install this socket, or to install that nut. So this one's unfortunately going to have to sit for a minute. Okay, now we have to torque this engine primary sprocket, and we could do it with this wonderful torque wrench that my awesome friend Case provided me with. However, recently I've acquired this comically large torque wrench that I think you might enjoy watching me use instead. So without further ado, I present to you what 250 foot-pounds looks like. All right, 250. Holy that wasn't so bad. Okay, we got the 1/2 inch to 3/8 reducer on the 3/8 torque wrench, and we got the 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch step up on the 3/4 inch torque wrench. Literally, both of these problems today could have been solved with a single functioning 1/2 inch torque wrench. That's neither here nor there. We're gonna add a little bit of Loctite as well to this guy. Just a little bit. Now this one goes opposite. This one goes counterclockwise. You know, lefty tighty, as they say. All right, and this one is way less. This one is 60 foot-pounds. Oh, and we gotta put it on loosen to tighten. All right. And our work here is done. Time to get the rest of this shit back on. Alright, as you can see, this is going to be the new to us. It's used, but the new to us chain tensioner. It is in much better shape than the one we took off. I mean, this one's like completely worn down. You could still see the etchings here. What I am a little nervous about is reusing this nylock nut. Unfortunately, it's what the client wants. Hopefully we don't have a leak down at the bottom there. And if we do, I suppose it's a simple fix.
Slept in the crib in the trenches, no cable. I done pulled mud, had me feeling like Mabel.
I done did shit for a nigga one grateful. I done did shit for a hoe one able. I done seen my homie bitch cheat, she unfaithful. Seen street niggas clean money with a label. I done seen a rich nigga ask for a favor. I done seen a stripper hit her cape. Before I got a rollie, I done caught me a Jacob. She went to All-Star Weekend with no paper. She know she good cause she fuck with a Laker. She know she good cause she fuck with her. I done seen it all. I done seen a bad bitch steal at the mall. I done seen a rapper get stripped to his drawers. Sucking my dick, gotta spit on my balls. Fuck the police, don't reply to no laws. I don't fuck with bitches who fuck on my dog. Alexander McQueen, let me get it in the small. Free my shorties, I ain't ducking no calls. Fucking with the niggas who down for the...
Alright, so these have a torque spec and a torque sequence, which is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're going to go and hit it with that 100 inch-pounds, if you know what I'm saying.
Around cause I know you fake. They gon' support you, they know you made it. Quando had told me I'm so amazing. I be so grateful I came from the basement. So many doubted me, I had to make it. I walk out the jury store with no security. My bitch, she the shit, she got no insecurity. She got some Bugats, but she not into jewelry. If you don't support me, then don't say you cool with me. Don't say you love me, cause I know it's foolery. I got the tool with me. I don't say I love you cause I know I hate you. I don't be around cause I know you fake.
Alright, clutch is adjusted. Feels great. Alright, now OEM filter, derby cover gasket, O-ring. You know, the manual says to Teflon tape this bolt for the primary. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet, but the oil drain for these is actually really interesting. It's down here. Well, it actually normally is up here, and it's held on by this clip here, like that. And then you take this clip off, reroute it down here, take that hose clamp off, pull this plunger out, and then you just drain it down in there. So, and it's a dry sump, so that means that there is no oil pan at the bottom holding the oil. It's held in an oil tank up here. So what you have to do when you're actually doing a proper oil change is you want to, because the oil eventually runs back down into the sump and it gets kind of filled up in here, want to start the bike, run it for about 20-45 seconds or so. Shout out to Gabe, you saw him helping out with this bike in the first part for that pro tip. So you run it, you get the oil back up into the tank here, and then once it's back up in there, shut it off, and then you can drain it straight out of there, and it'll have all the oil finally in the tank, or at least most of it. You got to set the primary level first, so for that we're going to be using this Genuine Formula Plus. It's a transmission and primary chain case lubricant. You can use gear oil, but if you do use gear oil, you have to use ones with friction modifiers, so the clutch won't slip. Because if you just put regular oil in there, the clutches will be too slippery, and then you'll feel like your gears or your clutch is slipping. So you want to get, if you use gear oil, something with a friction modifier, or you might say like for LSD, like limited slip differentials, something like that probably work. But I like using what the dealer recommends. You know, this is what's designed for it, so that's what we're putting in there. And then for the oil change, we got this the Bell Ray semi-synthetic, the V-twin. This is what Harley recommends to use, so we're gonna go ahead and use that. Yeah, go ahead and get started, and then after that we are going to flush the brake fluid, because it is just disgusting looking. It's like basically black. So get that done, and then I think, yeah, back here, it's. I mean, you can't really see it, but it's black. So get that all taken care of. Get some fuel additives in the tank, and be ready to rock. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys this because this is exactly how all these like differing opinion rumor mills begin online, and you can never get any good information. So this is the magnetic drain bolt, and that is for the bottom of the primary. Okay, now this is not to be overlooked because the primary, it's in two pieces. See that split line right there? And the bolt goes right in the middle of it. So there's a high possibility that it could leak because you're basically joining on a split. It's crazy. So there's a very specific procedure here in the manual, and it says apply there at 5C right here. Apply Loctite 565 pipe sealant with Teflon to the drain plug. Now, what does that mean? Because I have heard people say Teflon tape, I've heard people say Teflon paste, and I've heard people say both. So it reads like, when I first read it, apply Loctite 565 pipe sealant with Teflon to the drain plug. So it almost sounds like you apply this sealant with Teflon tape to the drain plug. But that is not the case. And it seemed weird to me too. Like I didn't really feel comfortable putting Teflon tape on a part because it's not really good to have it around petroleum-based products. It can break down, and if little pieces get off, it's not a good thing. So what you really want to do is you want to apply, it's a Teflon paste. So not Teflon tape, Teflon paste. And that looks a lot more like this. Okay? This is Loctite 565 Teflon paste. And that is what you're supposed to apply onto the threads of this magnetic drain bolt so that it doesn't leak. All right? Just wanted to get that out there. I got to go to the store now and get this, but I'll be back. All right, I'm going to show you guys. So the Loctite, I probably could have found it at a plumbing store, specialized store. This is equivalent. This is the exact same thing. It's called Permatex 59214. It's a PTFE based Teflon sort of sealant, high temperature Teflon sealant. It's like vibration resistance. Yeah. So this is what you'd use in or the Loctite 565. Loctite 565, you can get it, but obviously we talk about like the application, and like this is not a drag racing bike or something like that. This is just a Sportster, good old fashioned service. So what you're gonna want to do, poke a hole in this. All right, let's give this a shot, and we're gonna just install this. Looks like it's working like it's supposed to. We got a new ring. We got a new O-ring on there, by the way. All right, let me torque this bad boy. This feels wrong. That's 18. I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to go any tighter than that. We got the thread sealant in there. This makes me so nervous when you're tightening aluminum parts, you know. Cool. Got all that sealant wiped away. Awesome. All right, now here's the bad news. You want to know the bad news? Okay. Bad news is we can't finish this up today. Takes 24 hours for that stuff to... You can really start after 12, but... and it's going to rain, unfortunately. I know it doesn't look like it, but there was some pretty brutal clouds just a few minutes earlier. So we're going to start back up on Monday. And, you know, I've heard some stories about some people using this sealant and it helping a little bit, but ultimately still leaking in some cases. I don't think this is going to leak, and I think that part of the key to that is also letting it cure, you know? So we're going to let this cure. Give it the full 24 hours, you know what I mean? Just do it the right way. So we'll come back to this shortly. There'll probably be a part 3 on this. Sorry about that, guys, but we're going to find out. Did we finally fix that chain rattle? You guys saw what it was. We torqued that nut to 240 foot-pounds, 250. Put the thread lock on there. The red one. Shouldn't come off. That's what the manual says to do. So, let's see. Did we fix it? Stay tuned. Oh yeah, small update on this thing. Parts are coming from Italy. They're supposed to be here. I want to say they're shipping. They said they were shipping out at the end of this week, or at the end of next week, I'm sorry. So, and then it'll be a week after that. So 2 weeks away, have parts on this thing. So first we got that stuff going on, then it'll be finally back to this. Because I got to get this thing running, because I want to ride it. I need to ride it. I don't have a bike to ride right now. Look at how good it looks though. It's gotten that gas tank cleaned up a little bit. It's coming along slowly, you know, slowly. We also have a very awesome barn find Ducati that we're going to be restoring on the channel that I'm really excited for. I was going to flip this bike. Maybe I'll just keep it. I don't know, but this should be fun to dive into. That's coming soon. All right, so got oil added there. This is the proper level. That green stuff, the stuff's a little green. It's hard to come out. It's got like a bluish green tint to it. It's this Formula Plus. Let's see if it'll, yeah, there you go. You can see how it's kind of got this greenish tint to it. But anyway, that's the level. It was definitely overfilled before. You can see that line right there is the fluid level, and then those teeth are what we were looking through, or looking at, I'm sorry. So it's right up. It's got it a little bit higher in the book, but I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to double check it after it runs for a bit, because might need to just add a little bit more. I'm not sure. We'll see. But right now, it looks good. Okay, a couple quick housekeeping things. The battery. So this is another thing that happens. You know, with, parts that are non-OEM, right? Ugh. So this is the correct cranking amperage, 200. I think it's actually a little bit over stock. And this is the right size battery to fit in this slot here. It's got to be a certain size. And then the correct width, right? And the correct amp hour rating. But if you'll notice, this was the battery that came out of it. Still not OEM, but you know, Duralast, like a little automotive brand, a little bit more expensive. This is a Walmart brand. That's the positive on this battery, and that's the positive on this battery. And because of that, since they're flip-flopped, when you put it in, these are the positives. And if they needed to be, so in order for them to connect to the battery, the terminals need to be on this side. And when the terminals are on this side of the Walmart battery, this side is not the negative. This is the, I'm sorry, this side is the negative, and the outside is the positive. But the problem is the inside is the positive, and the outside is the negative. So the negative's outside, positive inside. And because of that, you have to try and reach the positives. And you can see they just don't quite reach. The battery's kind of out here. They just don't, you're straining those cables. And this, and I don't know if this, you know, you'd have to reroute this under there. I don't even know if this will even reach to the negative. I didn't even try because it was so bad. So Customer's gonna have to get a different battery. Unfortunately, that'll just delay a little bit because the problem, as you remember, we need to start this thing in order to do the oil change because it's a dry sump system. So there's some oil still in the bottom there, and it falls down when the engine's not running. Once the engine's running, it all gets sucked back up, and then you can easily drain it out of this tube right here. There we go. So now in the meantime, we're gonna bleed these brakes here. And oh, I forgot to get a light. Do I have a light? No. What did I do? So I'm bleeding these brakes here, and fluid is pretty nasty, and it's only about half full. So there was like almost no brake pressure on this one. I'm gonna suck this out. Give it a good old bleed. Not gonna reverse bleed it because you want to get all that junk out of the system. And then we'll do the fronts as well. And then we'll probably use the old shop battery here. Just the one we got laying around. Because this one is the correct terminals to get this thing started. And then we can finish the oil change. And then we'll be done. Oh, we gotta flush the tank still. We'll do that. And put the fuel additives in there. Yeah, that we can do too without having to really mess around with starting it. And all that should be done. Then hopefully if the customer can get a battery today, they can pick it up today. If not, whenever they're ready. Oh. Hey, Mom.
I don't be around, but I know you fake, you know you fake.
So this is the front brake. This is the nastiness that came out of there. Look at that. And that was after I drained the reservoir. So I emptied all the fluid out of this reservoir before I started drawing it out from the caliper. That's how bad it was. And we just got bubbles galore. Just been a nightmare. But it's coming. I'm starting to get brake pressure finally. The only thing is, the reason there's probably not a lot of pressure too is these pads are basically shot in the rear. And same thing in the front. They're, you know, they're on the worst side of half-life right now. I don't know if I can get a real good shot, but they're pretty used up. So, doing the best to just try and restore whatever brake feel I can. But, probably going to need pads soon on this. Okay, now we just let that sit overnight. And, should tighten right up by morning. It's about perfect. I mean, it is what it is, you know, given the life of the pads and stuff, but it's way better than before, so I'm really happy with that. So now we just got to do the oil change. We got to let it warm up and stuff first. So you got to run it a little bit so that oil starts flowing into the sump from the bottom of the engine, and it helps just to have it warm. And then drain that bad boy out. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but see all those metal? Quite a lot of sparkles in this oil. It's an interesting observation. It's not terrible, but not great. All right, new filter is on. Everything's back. Adding oil right now. I'm gonna have to take it off the lift in order to actually check the final oil level, because a lot of Harleys, they require you to actually check the oil level while it's on the kickstand. And same thing with the brake fluid on the front. It's designed to be checked and set on its kickstand. So anyway, I'll get this thing down and get it finished up, and then that's it. Oh, I gotta add this fuel additive here. I'm gonna add that right now. The gas in there is actually decent, and there's a full tank in there, so I'm not gonna bother draining it out. It looks pretty good. It's been running pretty good, so I'm just gonna add that octane booster with that fuel additive, help kind of clean out maybe some of the gumming in the injectors, and yeah, she's ready to go. You know, a little rough. Still needs a battery, obviously. I don't know if I pointed out the battery had the wrong terminals, and oh my god, the battery was wrong. This derby cover, I got the wrong one. I mean, I got the right one. They gave me the wrong one. I had to get that sealant for that primary cover. I had to get a big torque wrench for that primary nut. I had to get specialty tools for the primary chain to lock it in place. This one was just, it was a lot of stuff, but now that it's done, I could say that it was definitely a fun journey. It's definitely in better shape. It's still got a long ways to go. You know, this shifter's bent, and I think it's missing some foot pegs, but it's all small stuff that the owner can button up now. You know, the main thing is it's running. The brakes are fantastic. Well, the pads are terrible, but the pedal feel on the handlebars is phenomenal. It's I had it on there overnight, clamped it down, and it feels great. So really happy with how this one turned out. Wish we could have done a little bit more to it just to kind of really button it up and kind of finalize everything, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing down so I can finish getting all the oil changed, and then no noise. No noise from the primary. I think we fixed it, guys. Oh, also, there was no oil in this thing. This thing had like maybe 1.5 quarts, 2 quarts of oil in it. Crazy. And I did all the correct warm-up procedures, pumped the dry sump, everything. There was literally like 1.5 quarts, maybe 1 quart, 3/4 of oil in here. I've already put 2 quarts in, and it's still not even full. And this is after running for a minute. Look at that. Right in the middle. See that? Right in the middle. Right where we want it to be. So I'd say this one is done. Very happy with how this turned out. Couple little things, you know, this thing's loose. I don't even know if that's the right foot peg. Lights, little things, brakes got to be addressed. Needs the battery still, but overall, she's done. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your week. If you need any service, email me at classicsuperbikes@aol.com. There is certainly a bit of a waiting list, but you know, I'll get you in when you can. And last but not least, the fuel treatment. Got a huge recommendation from the Harley guys about this stuff. I don't know if they're just trying to sell it, whatever. There's basically 1/2 ounce treats a gallon. So there's about a 2-gallon tank in here, 2.1 gallons, I believe. So we're just gonna add, we're gonna add 1 ounce in here, and yeah, it should be good. There we go. Go. Okay, should be good now. Ready to rock and roll. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.
I done got me a 10. You know I'm about the business. I don't want no limit. I get what I want on the man. Ain't never been about to give me that can't get a